QuesoDivas, welcome back to my countdown series. I'm counting down the top 10 worst dates I went on in 2025. Yesterday we did number 8, Meta Glasses. Today we're doing number 7, The Gardener. Today our drink of choice is a grape poppy. I've never had a grape flavor before. It's a lot lighter than I was expecting. Well, I guess I'm a liar because remember how I said the guy yesterday was the only guy in this series I went on 2 dates with? I also went on 2 dates with this guy. They were house calls, they weren't dates. Every girl has experienced this on a dating app, a guy just being like, hey, come over to my place, or they'll, even worse, they're like, hey, can I come over to your place when they hear you don't have a roommate. I live alone, and the amount of guys that jump on that is insane. They're like, wait, you don't have a roommate? Like, let's go back to yours. I'm like, no. You're not coming back to my Princess Candyland palace. No. It's for me and me only. Because whenever I do invite a man back to my place, it ends up on the worst dates, a 2025 list. I feel like there's 2 guys on this countdown that I invited back to my place, and it just, disaster. This guy was a unique situation, though. He's another dude that lives in Miami full time. This year I really had a theme, and that theme was talking to men that live in Miami. I will never do that again. Anytime from now on for the rest of my life, any dude that says he lives in Miami, I'm running for the hills. I learned a lot this year of things that are just absolute no's right off the bat. Men that grew up in New York City, men that live in LA, men that live in Miami. And when Sabrina Carpenter said Slim Pickens, she wasn't wrong. Like, that cuts out a lot of people in this universe. And I'm cutting off all the short kings, so I'm like, that cuts off a lot of them. Anyone under 5'10", no. And before I get into it, are you guys wondering how my first date went last night? I also have a first date again tonight right after this. I kind of liked it as a pregame last night. My date last night was boring. It was one of those like mediocre dates that you're just gonna like forget about. We were both from Michigan and both went to U of M, but he was a year younger than me. I haven't updated my Hinge age since I like turned a year older, and I keep going on dates with guys that are younger than me on accident, and I don't like that. It's like raining out right now. It's all cozy, and this is the perfect time for a story time that occurred right in this very fortress. Guess where we matched? You already know, Hinge. This man is yummy, scrumdiddlyumptious, delicious, fire bod, yummy in my tummy. I'm like, oh my God. He's super tan, has a great smile, great bod, and I'm like, you're coming home with me. I want this man. We're messaging back and forth, and his whole thing is, I want to make you dinner. He's like, I have dietary restrictions, so I can't really go out to eat, but I want to eat with you. He's like, I also don't drink right now. Another non-drinker. But like, this man is just yummy, scrumdiddlyumptious, delicious. And quesos of Christmas past would just be like, yeah, come on over. This time I was smart. I said, let's meet at Whole Foods. Well, first he asked, where do you grocery shop? Babe, I don't grocery shop. I get my groceries delivered. Like, what? I'm not walking around New York City with the groceries. He was like, okay, I'm going to get the ingredients at Whole Foods. I'm like, okay, I'm going to come to Whole Foods with you. Like, I feel like that's a good screener. We're walking the aisles of Whole Foods. I'm seeing what the vibes are. So I get to Whole Foods and I'm waiting by the hot bar for literally 15 minutes. I did like so many laps. He was so late, which was already just like a big X. And I was getting irritated. Then he walks through the door, and parkas give me the ick. He was wearing a parka and I was like, wow, that is a good looking man. We show up to Whole Foods, and his whole idea was to make me dinner. So you would think that he would have an idea of what to make for dinner. No. He's like, so what do you want to eat tonight? And I'm like, so like, what are you good at making, I guess? Like, how do you not have any idea? And he's like, yeah, I don't know, I'll probably just pick like a meat, a veggie, some fruit, like just such a bro meal. He picks up like 2 steaks, an avocado, and an apple and butter. That was all we bought. Because as we're walking down the aisles of Whole Foods, like, it's feeling romantic, and you guys know I hate a walking date. This was technically a walking date, and with a guy with no plan. Yikes, and he's in a parka, and he had to take off his parka and put it in the shopping cart because he was so overstimulated, which valid. Parkas overstimulate me. We're walking around the aisles of Whole Foods. He really wanted to get oysters too, but he couldn't find like the shucker thing, and he's like, you don't have a shucker at your place? I'm like, No, I don't have a shucker at my place. I don't eat oysters. And this guy was all into like health and wellness. He told me that he's just been living in Mexico for the last few months. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's going to mess with your tummy, I would assume. Like, you can't even drink the water there. And he was like, yeah, like my stomach has just been in shambles, which like a man with tummy troubles, like that also gives me the ick. I'm like, what? Like, why can't you just eat? Like, guys should have stomachs of steel. If I have a stomach of steel, you should have a stomach of steel. He's like, so I just have to be really careful about what I eat. So I have to eat all like whole, raw, natural, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. All I heard was, you're making me dinner. I'm getting a private chef for the night. I guess come on over. And if I haven't mentioned it, this guy is hot. We have good banter. Like, okay, you don't live in the city. Interesting. Because I kind of thought he did. Then he's like, yeah, I was just living in Mexico for a few months. My home base is in Miami. I have a place here, but I like live with someone and he lives with his girlfriend. It was just very confusing. Like, a man loves to just like talk in circles instead of just like telling you what the fuck is going on. I'm like, do you have an apartment here or no? Because I do think apartment dates are just like the lowest of low efforts, but it wasn't like a booty call situation. He was like, I want to make you dinner. I want to like talk, but I can't eat dinner at a restaurant and I don't drink. And I think he probably didn't drink coffee because I think coffee wouldn't be good on the tummy. So he comes back to mine and he asks me, do you garden? I'm like, do I garden? Oh, baby, I garden. And he's like, great, let me like roll us something. And I think it's so hot when a guy knows how to do that stuff. He rolls us up like the fattest, most fire thing ever. He's cooking me dinner. He actually took probably like an hour and a half to cook. He melted the butter. I've never seen someone melt butter slower. I was antsy to garden, but I was also hungry, and so we end up like taking a few hits of it, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm intergalactic right now. I am in another world. Like, what is going on right now? And I'm in my apartment and there's a man in my apartment. And also, I've noticed whenever guys come over to my apartment, they always turn music on my speaker. I'm just like not the biggest music listener. I'll put it in my AirPods when I'm like walking somewhere. More so than not, I'm listening to a podcast. But in my apartment when I'm just hanging out, I'm not like listening to music really. And a lot of men are just like big music listeners. A lot of people in general are. I'm just not. And so he's like blasting this music, like showing me all these different songs. We do have like very similar tastes in music. So he was showing me like some like good songs, but it's like so loud. And whenever I garden in here, I get really anxious that my neighbors are going to smell it. And then especially if I'm listening to music, that they're going to hear it. Because I can hear my neighbors talking and I'm like, I just feel bad disrupting someone else's like peace because like my peace is feeling disrupted and it gives me anxiety. So he finally finishes cooking and I'm just like giving him shit. I'm like, why is this taking you so long? I keep kind of like standing over there next to him, and one thing I will say is when we came back to mine, I was like, oh my god, this guy's BO is insane, which that will snap you out of attraction with someone real quick. He was all into like all this natural healing voodoo, and clearly I had a type because Meta Glasses was also kind of like this, just very like spiritual zen natural things. But I mean, this guy was just like dime, like super cute. But I'm like, oh my god, does he smell? Because I think he was like really sweaty in his shirt when he was walking in his parka to come to Whole Foods to see me, and he was probably pretty sweaty on the walk back because like obviously he's carrying the groceries, even though we got like 5 things. We were no pilgrims having a Thanksgiving feast. We were literally eating like scraps. He finally finishes, and this couch is like super cozy because I don't have a dining room table in here. My apartment is just the essentials. I don't need to eat on a dining room table. 9 times out of 10, I eat my dinner in my bed and I watch my show because it's late at night. I'm like, I want to curl up in bed. Recently, my food hyperfixation has been like poverty nachos, you know, those where you just get like chips, melt some cheese. I've been putting black beans and ground beef on it. Ooh, so good. I just had that in my bed. Ever since I mounted the TV in my bedroom like a year ago, I don't eat dinner on my couch anymore. I used to eat dinner on my couch all the time. But when I have company over, I like to, because this is a modular sofa, so I move this side piece over here and it becomes kind of like a mega bed. It's super cozy. I put down like the towels and stuff so we can eat. He finally makes this meal. We sit down to eat. The girl I've gardened way too much to eat. My plate has a half of an avocado on it, just like cut in half. Not seasoned, anything. It's just sitting there. A sliced apple, and then a steak that I have to cut. He didn't pre-cut it for me, and that's like a lot right now, and I don't really have like fancy steak knives like that. So I literally take like 2 bites of it and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm good. This is supposed to be this whole dinner extravaganza, and I feel like usually when a guy's like, let me cook you dinner, he's gonna like pull out all the stops, do some seasonings, do some fun things. This guy was like bare bones, the most basic caveman. Like, I didn't, this is probably something that the cavemen could eat. Like, I want some like Italian pasta, cheese, fried pickle. I don't know, impressed me in the kitchen. This was like bare bones. But anyway, we're like cuddling after dinner. He's just smelling like BO. One thing's leading to another, because I'm like, he's also cute though, and he's like in my apartment. He's wearing this like evil eye necklace too. It was like a long evil eye necklace. It looked like you got it in Greece or something. We had this date. It's honestly pretty fine. Like, I mean, it's just like mid. The BO really bothered me. Him cooking like was like okay, but we did have like good conversation. And the gardening plant that he brought was out of this world. And he wrapped it up real good. He was doing things in the microwave. He was like going very elaborate. And so I was like, okay, like I'm down for this. I'm down to do this again, not anytime soon, but you don't even live in the city and you don't know when you're going to be back. So I'm like, okay. After our first date, I really didn't care if I ever saw him again or not. We were very blunt with each other on the date. Like, he was very into like giving me feedback, like kind of like critiquing my life and my choices. And it's like, my body, my choice. I can do whatever I want. Like, I'm like living on my own in New York City and you're bumming it at my apartment for the night. So like, who's winning, you know? But he was like just going and like critiquing the songs I was playing and just like, but like in like a joking way. Like, we were just like yada, yada, yada. So he asked me, he's like, all right, like, now it's time for you to give me my feedback. And I was like glad that he waited until text, because then I could really like rip into him. I said like the craziest things. I wonder if I can look it up on my laptop. I found them. Oh, now I'm just like scrolling back. We did send selfies every single day, but his selfies, like, he's like yummy. Date, let me find. We went on our date on March 9th. So it was a Sunday. He texted me on Monday, hey, last night was fun, but time for you to hit me with the real feedback. Because I think we were just talking about like feedback. This is what I say back. Okay. Date feedback. You showed up late and had no plan on what to cook. Like, I literally tell him, because I told you guys that. Compatibility feedback. You weren't super attentive to me. Like, I don't even know what that means. And then physical feedback. You shouldn't use natural deodorant. Basically telling him he smells bad. And I said, but overall, I think we weirdly had a lot in common, which was nice. And I enjoyed hanging out, because I did. And we did have a lot in common. And like, he honestly took it like so well. This is honestly the perfect response. He says, I don't like that you're funnier than me. I'm honestly obsessed with that response. And so after that, I'm like, okay, he took it well. And I like told this all to my friends. Like, I broke down the whole story and they were like, honestly, just like keep texting him, whatever. So we sent selfies back and forth all the way until June 25th. Like, we can do this again. This time I don't need to go to the Whole Foods with you. You can just like bring it over, like whatever. He walks back in the door. I give him a hug. He comes in, he gives me a smooch. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of hot. He smells. And I'm assuming since I gave this feedback, he took it so well. Hopefully he doesn't smell anymore, because I have just a big thing about like men that smell like BO. I can't do it. I can smell it immediately. He smells again. Like, he's still wearing natural deodorant, or our smells just aren't aligning. His palate is not my palate. He brings over a very similar array of food. This time he brought like pork chop or something. Like, it was basically like we made meatloaf. And I kept calling it the meatloaf. The meatloaf also took like 2 hours to cook. It was literally just like a rectangle of meat that he just like cooked in a pot. I was like, what is going on right now? And this time he's just like more annoying. He's like made himself like more at home. He tells me since he rolled last time, I should roll this time, because like he showed me how to do it. Babe, this was like 6 months ago and you used the microwave. You put it in the microwave for a certain amount of time and we're like spitting and licking all over it. All of a sudden he's like wanting me to do all this stuff. He's like, could you make the guacamole? Because this time we're doing pork chop, guacamole, and I think another apple. Like, it was very similar to the last time, But I gave him so much shit for just doing the half of an avocado. He was like, all right, let's make guac. But then he was like, but you make it. And I'm like, I am already providing my place of residence, my speaker, my company, and you're just providing a stench. You're literally providing a bad smell. I remember I started lighting candles like immediately, like spraying my room spray. I was like, I'm just trying to make it vibey in here. He did another thing that annoyed me because he got there. He only had the rolling supplies, none of the plant. I had to use my own personal plant. I was a little bit annoyed about that because I was like, you came so unprepared, even though you knew that that's what the vibe was going to be tonight. And I was like, you just didn't bring any. Like, that's just like so. So I'm just like irritated. I'm like, oh, this was a mistake. Like, he was better through my phone screen. I feel like that's what always happens to me. I'll love like texting a dude, like sending him selfies back and forth, but then I meet him in person and like he does one thing that icks me out and I'm like, oh, it's over. And it's tough when they're like in my apartment because I'm like, ugh, I don't want to spend the rest of the night with you now. At this point, I'm just trying to get through the rest of the night. We garden, we giggle, we're listening to like the new music that's come out since like we both weren't seeing each other. And like we eat. I like have much more of an appetite this time because I don't do nearly as much. And then I'm just kind of like, all right, it's like bedtime. And like he's sleeping over. Like I don't think that he has a place to stay in New York City because I said, oh, do you still have that place with your roommate, that roommate? Because he said that he had like two places. And he made it seem like the roommate's girlfriend, like it's like just them now, like not him anymore. And he was more so staying as a guest. I don't know, whatever. He's irritating me. He smells bad, so I'm gonna have to wash my sheets. I'm just like irritated. I just like did everything for him. After the feedback, he like flipped and did it tenfold where he wasn't attentive to me at all, even though I said that's what I wanted. I'm providing my own plans. I'm just like, and he just smells so bad. Like still. Like I don't want to be in his armpit. And he's like blasting music. And so we're like just cuddling like in my bed and still he's like blasting music and like we eventually like fall asleep. Like I really can't fall asleep because he's like playing music so loud. I keep asking him to turn it down. He's like, I need the music on. And it's just like this like weird like music. It's like the 50 Shades of Grey, like the weekend type music. It's just like cringe and weird. I'm like, I don't want this on right now. So like I just want this night to be like over so then I wake up in the morning and like you're gone. And during this era, it was really, really hard for me to fall asleep. I was doing everything. I was like, felt like I was getting addicted to melatonin. So I was really trying to not take melatonin. I also have like these like sleeping medication things because sometimes I like really can't fall asleep or like for my panic attacks. And I take that when I want to like knock out. So I take one of those because I'm like, if I'm sleeping over with a guy, I like just feel like I usually don't get that great of sleep, especially when it's a guy I don't really want to be there. So I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna knock out. It was really hard for me to fall asleep. I was tossing, I was turning, he was taking up a lot of the bed. I like wasn't vibing, he was smelling bad. I'm just like irritated. I finally fall asleep. Tap, 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 tap. I'm like, what? What? And he's like, hey, do you want to garden right now? And I personally can't garden before I go to sleep. I'm like, when I garden, I get like very like hyper, like my mind starts racing. I start thinking so much that it's like, I can't garden then like knock out, which most people can. I can't. And he knew that too, because he wanted to garden before he went to bed. And I was like, it's totally fine if you do, but I'm not going to. And like he did. Wakes me up in the middle of the night, says, hey, can we go by your window, which is on the opposite side of my apartment, and garden right now? And I said, what time is it? I was like, what's going on right now? Like, did I like just quickly fall asleep? It's only been like 10 minutes. It's been like 5 hours. It's literally like 3:30 a.m. right now, like in the middle of the night. Because we went to bed really early. Like I was over this. We probably went to bed at like 10:30 or something. And one thing about me is that I am not to be awoken once I am at rest. A queso at rest stays at rest. I do not want to be awoken. You are annoying me so much if you wake me up. We also, I remember before going to bed, we finished up my rolling masterpiece. So there was like no more. And so he was waking me up basically to be like, hey, we need to like zhuzh up another. And I'm like, absolutely not. I literally look at him and I'm like, it is 3:30 a.m. right now. It is so rude that you just woke me up. I'm going back to bed. No. He's like, come on. And I'm like, you can do it. Like at this point, like you leave, like get out of this bed. Honestly, just go home. I wanted him to go home. I was so irritated because I knew I wasn't gonna be able to fall back asleep after this. So I hear him like bustling around in the kitchen, like the microwave's going on, off, on, off. He's like opening, closing, opening, closing. He's like rustling around. I hear him turn on the fan. I hear him open my window. I can definitely smell it because I ask him, I'm like, are you opening the window right now? Because it smells in here. He comes back to bed once he's done and immediately falls asleep. And that's like so annoying when guys do that. Like when they wake me up, disrupt my slumber, and then men that just fall asleep immediately drive me absolutely crazy. I need to be with a man that has a hard time falling asleep because I need to fall asleep first and I have a hard time falling asleep. Because all of a sudden then pressure's on. It's like, okay, it's bedtime. Why am I not falling asleep? And already just by myself, I have a hard time falling asleep. Recently, I've honestly been a lot better though. So my sleep is disrupted and I had to wake up early the next morning because I had a workout class. It was super early in the morning actually. It was like a heated like yoga workout class. It was a workout class event with like a brand that I've worked with. And so I finally fall asleep. My alarm goes off literally like immediately after. He's not getting up, and so I walk into my kitchen to start getting ready because I'm like, I have to leave in like 30 minutes. Like, you only have 30 minutes. I walk into a disaster in my kitchen. Little grounds of plant are everywhere on my counter, all over my countertop. The microwave door is literally open. The window is like cracked open, and I'm just like, oh my God, like you left a mess here too. Like you did all this and you left a mess. And I'm just like so irritated. He also has the thing like half done, like in the windowsill, and there's like ash everywhere. I'm like, this is so annoying. So I clean up, I get ready for my workout class, and I like ask him to leave. I'm like, hey, like, can you leave? I'm like, I have to go. He's like lingering, like he won't get up. He's like, no, just like stay in bed, like skip your workout class. Like, no, like let's keep hanging out. Like he's thinking that we are just like vibing. And I'm like, get out. Like you caused this entire mess. Like this was just like, you disrupted my night. I wanted to be alone instead. Like you're just irritating me. Like this is annoying. Get out. Finally just like go, and like his smell lingered for days after. I have this one really soft blanket on my bed and I honestly kind of use it. I like drape it as like a pillow because it's so like warm and cozy, and I feel like he like put it underneath his armpit or something because it just smelled like him after. And I was like, no, not my favorite blanket. Because, you know, once you wash a blanket, it's never as soft again. Like, it's at peak softness pre-first wash. And I had to do, like, all my sheets and everything. And that's just a hassle and annoying. And I was like, you just, like, entered my safe space. So after that, my therapist and I had a conversation. And we're like, we can't have men enter the safe space. And since then, for, like, a date night, only, like, one man has ever, like, come over again since then. And that was, like, the expectations were like that. Because I felt like with this guy, I thought after we went on our first date, maybe he would ask me to like dinner for the next one, because he started sending me photos in between our two dates, from the first date to the second date. He's sending me photos with him like holding a Corona, like doing like eating his food. And because he was so into wellness, I was like showing him what I was making, and then he was showing me like food that he was getting out, and I was like, oh, so like you're eating out now. So I was kind of hoping for our next date, like we would go out somewhere. And that was not the case. And he was just like way lazier. I just didn't really text him again after that. He like immediately tried to see me again. And I was like, yeah, like I'm just busy. And like he was like, yeah, well, just let me know. And I just like literally never texted him again because he got me in a bad mood. Like, you do not wake up Claire in the middle of the night. Whew. I'm like annoyed just thinking about it. That is my biggest pet peeve. I was like just fuming because I was woken up in the middle of the night from him in my own bed, in my own chambers. That was just ridiculous, but that was number 7 of my 10 worst dates of 2025. Tomorrow we're doing number 6. We're really chugging our way along. We're doing so good. I hope you guys are enjoying these. I love you, and I'll let you know how this date tonight goes. Hopefully he's less boring than last night's. All right, goodbye. Love you.